Hi, this is Fiona from Mobile Clinic. Welcome to this gentle movement session. Today you'll need to have a mat available as well as some space around you to move your arms and legs. You might wish to have a cushion or a block handy to support you in some of the sitting and kneeling stances or poses, and you might want to have a wall nearby just for support for some of the balance work that we'll be doing today. If you have any discomfort while doing any of the exercises, I will be offering some adaptations, but if there's any pain, then please do skip any of the exercises that you feel are beyond your ability. Let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is connect with the breath. So we're going to take a moment just to sit and listen to our breathing. So if it's comfortable for you, you could sit with your hands on your knees or kneel and place maybe a hand on the chest and a hand on the stomach. And we're going to close the eyes, if that feels good, and just take 10 breaths. And we're just going to watch or listen to the breath and feel or focus on how maybe the hand on the chest is moving, or maybe the hand on the stomach. Noticing whether the breath is fast or slow. Are you breathing through your mouth? Maybe you're breathing through your nose. Maybe think about the sensation of the air passing into your lungs. Is the air cool? Is it warm? We're just going to take 2 more breaths here. And when you're ready, you can open the eyes and come back into the room. So the first thing that we need to do is warm up the kind of neck and shoulder area. So we're going to take a deep breath in as we inhale, and then as we exhale, a deep breath in as we elongate the spine, and then as we exhale, we're going to move into the range of motion. So this movement here, you can place your fingers out to the side, or you can have your hands on your knees. But as you breathe in, you're going to shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, and then as you exhale, we're going to bring the right ear to the right shoulder. So you should feel a nice gentle stretch just along the top of the shoulders here. And then as you breathe in again, we're returning the shoulders up to the ears. And then again, the left ear to the left shoulder. So let's repeat that again twice more on each side. So shoulders up as we breathe in, right ear, right shoulder as we breathe out. And then breathing in, shoulders up to the ears. Then breathing out, shoulders to the left, or ear to the left shoulder. Breathing in, shoulders up. And then breathing out, right ear, right shoulder. You can move around a little bit as well if you feel like that helps sort of ease any tension in the neck. Breathing in, shoulders up. Breathing out, left ear, left shoulder. Maybe taking a little nod of the head. And then breathing in, we're going to return back to neutral. And now, if you want to repeat that movement, you can. I'm going to add in a slight variation. So if you're comfortable completing the exercise I've just shown, you can. Otherwise, we're going to do a little bit of a more, it's a passive kind of stretch, I guess, because we're going to use our hand to apply some pressure to the neck area. So I'm going to turn just up to an angle so you can see. But we want to place the kind of heel of the palm or any area maybe along the outside of the hand against the neck, where the neck meets the shoulder. And as you bring your right ear to your right shoulder, you're going to press downwards with your hand. And then as you bring your left ear across to the left shoulder to the opposite side, you're just applying a bit of a stretch to the muscles around the neck. So you'll feel a little bit of a stretch just under the ear here. And so you don't need to do a lot of these to feel the benefit, but we'll just do maybe 2 or 3 repetitions on each side. So yeah, let's do 2 more repetitions. So we'll start again. So taking the left hand to the right shoulder and placing it just where the shoulder and neck meet. We're going to bring the right ear to the right shoulder, apply downward pressure with the hand, and then bring the left ear to the left side. Just gently applying that downward pressure to feel the stretch. And then we're going to repeat it once more. So applying downward pressure, bring the right ear to the right shoulder, and then left ear to the left shoulder. And do it nice and slow. It doesn't have to be a fast movement at all. And bring in a little bit of head movement as well if that feels good. So the muscles that we're stretching here are called the trapezius muscles. They're quite superficial, but they get quite tight when we're sitting at a desk for a long time. So this is perfect for desk work today. So we're going to do the same on the opposite side, taking the right hand this time, the heel of the palm or the side of the palm against where the neck and shoulder meet. And we're going to apply downward pressure with the right hand as we bring the left ear to the left shoulder, and then keeping that pressure as we move right ear to right shoulder. So you should feel a nice stretch. You can move your hand along the length of the shoulder as well. That kind of helps to make that stretch kind of last a little longer. So left ear, left shoulder, pressing down, right ear, right shoulder. Bring in a little bit of head movement. Got one more to do with these. So let's bring the right hand down a little on the left side as we bring the left ear to the left shoulder, and then bring the right ear to the right side, right shoulder. So if you're still kind of maybe taking the other option, that's fine. But we've finished here now with the neck, so we're going to move on to stretching out the sides of the body and the spine, the upper spine and the mid-spine. So again, we can have our hands placed out to the sides, and we're going to take the left hand up as we breathe in. And then as we breathe out, we're just going to tip over, so starting with maybe the head and the upper spine, and keeping the sit bones. So on the floor, we want both hips to be, or both bum cheeks to be in contact with the ground. And then as we take a breath or 2 here, but as we come back up with breathing in, and you should feel as you do this a stretch on the side of the body. So we're going to repeat on the opposite side, so bringing the right hand up and extending the spine. We're going to breathe out as we bring the right arm over. If you've got a bit of an issue reaching your arm up, it's absolutely fine to have your hand on your hip to do this. We just want to feel a bit of a stretch down the side here. And then breathing in to come back up. We'll do that once more. Breathing in and up, and out and over to the right side. And then in and up, and out and over to the left side. It feels really good, especially first thing in the morning. Now, this time we're going to adapt the movement. So this one will involve using a bit of more of a stimulus, like we did with the neck and the shoulders up here. We're going to apply a bit of a stimulus to the ribs. So you can keep your hand positioning the same as it was, but with the opposite side. So instead of reaching up, we're going to bring the hand into a fist, and we're going to use the knuckles to apply some pressure to the side of the body. So it's up to you how much pressure you want to apply and how vigorously, but we're just going to sort of help to stretch out the side. You might find that you get a bit more range as you're moving into the stretch. So if we take the breath in to elongate the spine and bring a hand ready to the side here, so your left hand to your left ribs in a sort of fish shape. The right hand, obviously, you can have to the floor. And then as you exhale, so breathing into elongate, breathing into elongate. And then as we breathe out, we're just going to rub downwards along the ribs. Now, I'm going to say I quite like to just sort of scratch. It's almost like I'm scratching an itch on my rib cage. But actually, this is a kind of method that I might use when I'm working with somebody in the clinic to get a bit more range of movement for an overhead kind of movement. So it's a bit of a trick, really. It's almost like distraction. So hopefully you're not in fits of giggles from tickling yourself, but we'll try that on the opposite side. So we're going to take the knuckles to the ribs just to prepare. You could use any part of your hand that sort of feels right and just make a gentle kind of motion too. So breathing in to elongate, and then tilting to the left side, you can do some stretching and mobilising at the same time. Just keep your breath steady. You might find that you go a little bit further into the stretch, and then breathing in as you come back up. We'll do one more on the opposite side. So it's fine if you want to still be here. If this isn't working for you, you can bring your arm up and go over to the right side. If you want to take a hand to the side, you can. You can work down to the hip if you like. And then as you breathe in, you're going to come back up to the middle. If you want to take a breath, elongate up. And then over to the left side. Nice steady breathing if you're here just for a moment. And then breathing in to come back up. Perfect. Ooh, shoulder shrug feels good right there. Okay, so brilliant. Now we're going to move on to a bit more rotational type movement for the spine. So we're going to sit with our feet out in front of us, and I'm going to turn sideways on so that you can see what we're about to do here. So I'm going to be turning to the right side here. So we're going to take the right foot and bring it flat. Just bring the heel roughly in line with the knee. You can bring it a bit closer if it feels good and you want to get further into the stretch though. And then taking a breath in, we're going to elongate the spine upwards. And then we're going to place a hand. Now you can place a hand just at the knee, or if you can reach right the way around, you can put as much of your arm as feels comfortable resting on the knee. So you might find the elbow quite comfortable here. And as we're exhaling, we're bringing our right hand just behind us. So it could be out to the side, it could be behind us, and looking over our right shoulder as we exhale. So we don't really need to do much while we're here. Just take a breath or two, and each time you exhale, just think about if you can go a little bit further into the rotation. One last breath here. And then we'll come back to the middle. And we'll swap sides. So we'll bring the left foot so that the heel is in line with roughly around where the knee is. And then we can place the right hand on the left knee. And we're going to place the left hand somewhere on the floor, either out to the side or behind us. So as we exhale, we're just going to turn and see how far we get. We're not really pushing ourselves into this movement. We're just kind of gently, if you let go, you should stay where you were kind of rotated to. If we're looking over the left shoulder, we just want to see how far can we see. Taking a few deep breaths. And then when you're ready, you can come back to the start position. So again, as we've done before, I'm going to provide you with an option here just to kind of help with the method of self-massage. So we'll do this exactly the same thing that we did before. You can do it exactly as you did before, no problem. If you want to bring in a little bit of a gentle kind of massage element, we're placing the hand on the knee on the right side this time, breathing in to elongate, and we're going to again use the fist to just like glide down the side body. So as you breathe out, you're going to rotate, and then you'll bring the fist anywhere to the lower back this time. So maybe if it feels good on the ribs, you can, but just somewhere that feels like it is comfortable. And you might notice that as you do this, you access a bit more range of motion. And we'll just take another deep breath here. And then when we come back to the middle, we're breathing in, switching over the legs. So that the left foot rests next to the right knee. Right hand comes to left knee. And we can rotate around. You can either have the hand placed behind you or out to the sides as you exhale, or you can place your knuckles kind of against your lower back or side. And even get up into sort of under the armpit around the rib area, and just go as fast as you want or as slow as you want, just to sort of help increase your range of motion. It's really working on my left side. You can kind of do this while you're sitting at a desk as well. It's quite nice. You've been sat for a while, just to sort of apply a bit of pressure. Okay, so we've come out of the motion now, and we're going to focus a little bit more on balance elements. So we're going to need to stand now. For the single leg calf raise, we start with our feet at hip width, and we're going to bring our weight onto the left leg. And you can have your hands on your hips or out to the sides, wherever you need them to be to help you balance. You may want to stand next to a wall and have some support, but we're going to bring the weight onto the left foot and then bring any distance off the floor from the right foot. So you might feel comfortable standing with the knee bent to 90 degrees and the hip at 90 degrees. You might feel more comfortable just being with the toe on the ground. But we're going to shift the weight up onto the balls of the foot, the ball of the foot. So we're just going to do one repetition at a time. So I failed already. But focus on your breathing. You can focus on anything in front of you, a few feet away. That should help. So we'll do one on the left foot, and then repeat one on the right. We're going to alternate, so I'm switching onto my right foot and then lifting the heels to go up onto the toes and then back down. So now we're going to work on repetitions. We're going to do maybe 5 or 6 repetitions on either side. So let's start with the left side. Now you've got the hang of it. So shifting the weight onto the left foot, lifting the right foot up. Let's go with 5 repetitions. So lifting up onto the ball of the foot and then down. And then up, that's 2, and down, up, that's 3, and then down, up, and 4. Last repetition, up onto the balls of the foot and then back down. And we switch sides. So feet to hip width, shift the weight onto the right foot, lift the left foot up however far you wish, and then shifting the weight up onto the balls of the foot, ball of the foot, and then down onto the heel. We've done 2, up, then 3, up, then 4. Oh, I'm losing my balance. And up, and then 5. Okay, relax. That's quite challenging, actually, just as an exercise on its own. So it's something that you might want to integrate into your daily routine, maybe while you're waiting for the kettle to boil, if you notice that your balance was quite challenged then. So we're going to move on to the next exercise now. So if you want to come and sit on the floor, I think this next exercise will be an interesting challenge for your abdominal muscles, and it might require a level of patience. So we're going to work kind of on the core muscles here. So I don't know if you've ever seen a gymnast kind of lift their whole body off the floor in a piked position. We're going to do a very regressed version of this. So the hip flexor muscles, the deep hip flexor muscles work when we're sat at least with our legs at 90 degrees here to our body. So we're going to bring our feet in nice and close, and we're going to cross the heels over. So if you're able to, you can shift your weight forwards a bit. And we want to place the hands flat on the floor, somewhere in front of where our bottom touches the ground. So actually, where your hands are placed should be quite close to you. And you really do need to lift, to push your body forward. So if this isn't comfortable for you, it's fine for you to attempt this with your legs out in front of you. They can be bent, they can be slightly crossed. It's fine. I'm going to have my feet, I might move my feet as I do this, just to sort of work out what's best for me. But the idea will be that we're going to push down into the ground and then lift ourselves up the floor. And you should feel some of the muscles, at least, around the lower abdomen working to bring the legs in close. So that helps with your balance on your hands. So just be wary of your wrists. If there's any pain or discomfort at any time, just back off this exercise. This is just a bit of an extra challenge for you. So we're placing the hands on the floor, just in front and very close to where our sit bones are. And we're going to take a breath in and then push as we breathe out up to lift the bottom of the floor. So if you can hold it there for a few seconds, maybe for 5 seconds, and then lower. And we'll repeat that again 3 times. So I'm going to give my hands a bit of a shake just to sort of ease the pressure. And then we'll go again. So you could cross over the legs in the opposite direction, if that helps. So if you have the right foot in front, bring the left foot in front. And we're going to go again. So breathing in and then breathing out as we push up, straightening out the arms a bit. Hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then down. It's a good challenge. This is kind of like the motion of when you're trying to go to stand up from sitting, you might use your arms. So it's a bit more of a kind of like a functional thing, but you could progress this over time so that you can do what the gymnasts can do. I certainly can't do that, but maybe it's a potential challenge during lockdown to try and do that. Let's go one more time. So hands are placed flat on the floor, and then breathing in, we're getting ready, breathing out, we're pushing up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back down. Awesome. That's brilliant. Well done. So I think we've worked hard enough for now in this session. So we're going to come back to the seated position, and we're just going to get back into focusing on the breath so that we can transition into our day. So placing hands on the knees. If you're kneeling as well, you can either place your hands on the knees or maybe a hand on the chest and a hand on the stomach. And we're just going to bring the attention back to the breath. So if you want to close your eyes, if that feels right. I'm going to take 10 breaths here. So just bring your attention to where the air is going in your body when you breathe in. Maybe you notice that your hand on your chest is rising with your breath, or maybe the hand at the stomach. How does the breath compare to when we started the session? Is it faster? Maybe it's slower? Are the breaths deeper, or are they shallow? Are they smoother, or maybe a bit more juddery? And if you notice your mind is wandering off, preoccupied with thoughts about the day ahead, just bring it back to the breath. Breathing in, breathing out. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And when you're ready, you can open the eyes and come back into the room. I hope you've enjoyed this gentle movement session. If you'd like to join us for more sessions, either live or recorded sessions, then you can go to move-well.co.uk to find out more. I look forward to seeing you again soon.